I separated the engine from the transmission, as you can see, and I'm going to get the transmission out of the way and then figure out a way to get the engine into the garage. The issue that I'm having is that I'm over here on the gravel, crush and run. It's very hard to move these engine hoists on gravel. I was planning to use that dolly, but it is breaking. It's made of wood. It's supposed to be able to support up to 1,000 pounds, and as soon as the engine and transmission combo went down on it, it was like crack, crack, crack. And I was like, no. So I got Old Faithful out here, and she's supporting the engine with the help of that little jack under there, because then I had to use that jack to get the transmission up off of the ground so that I could get the dolly under it and then move the dolly back to separate it from the engine. Yeah, a process, but this is what I got. I'm working with what I got. Bear with me, damn it, bear with me.
Nope. Nope.
so I'm gonna try to narrate while I do this and let you guys know what I'm doing. I was asked to do that by a viewer. Anyway, on with the show. What I've done is disconnected the wiring harness in various places, like from the alternator and from this side over here. And now I have to get this module back here and then the rest of the injectors. Then I will be able to take the fuel rail off and then the rest of the plenum. I'm doing this in an order as to where it won't drop all this crap that's sitting on top of the motor down into places that it doesn't need to be. That's why I have the vacuum, and that's why you see me vacuuming every now and again. Though I can't get everything, I'll be able to get a good bit once I get this fuel rail off. That's for the rest of the injectors. Now it just has like small nylon holders that go top of the studs that are popping out. And you just pull up on those and they come right on out. Penny's hiding over here behind the engine because she's afraid of the vacuum cleaner. She thinks it's gonna eat her. And now I'm gonna take this guy off. Now I'm gonna take these two covers off, this one and the adjacent one on the other head, so that I could get to this plug to get it out. I'm going to remove this module and then the bracket that it's attached to, so that I could get the rest of the harness from, you know, right here behind it. It's 3 10mm nuts. With a little dirt. A lot of dirt. Gotta kind of lift. I'm gonna remove these 3 bolts right here, which are 13mm. And lift it over the cable. And the harness will slide right off. I forgot one right there. Forgot one plug. And that's the wiring harness for the motor. And now I can disconnect the fuel rail with 1, 2, 3, 4 8mm bolts. And now with gentle wiggles of the injectors, they should pop right on out. You don't have to be forceful. You don't have to yank it like and there goes the fuel rail. And now I'm gonna get all this crusty, leafy, grimy stuff away from the intake before I remove the intake plenum. Okay, so now time to remove the intake plenum. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 13mm bolts. It's recommended to use a long socket so that you can get over the stud. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 10mm bolts, and then over here we have the alternator bracket that is attached with 4 8mm bolts. So I start by taking this bracket off, and then I work my way back. And then you just lift that bad boy up off of there. And now I can remove this coolant piping. So now I'm going to remove these 2 13mm bolts that got the studs going through them so that I could get this coolant piping out of the way. Alright, now with some wiggling and some force, should be able to get this bad boy to pop up out of there. Maybe it's gonna need a little encouragement. Okay, maybe it's gonna need a lot of encouragement. Flying flippity flop. And I decided to remove the alternator and come back around to this coolant piping. And to remove the alternator, you got 2 10mm bolts. 1, 2. And just wiggle it out. Or pick it up. That's smarter. Now the reason that this pipe is so difficult to get out because it has kind of rusted itself in around this area, so I'm going to use the hammer to massage it gently. Gently. And there we go. And now more pine needles and Dead Granddaddy Long Legs. Okay, so I'm gonna start from the middle and work my way out. I already did that guy, and I'm gonna do this guy, which are 10mm, by the way. Now these 2 front studs that the alternator was bolted to, they are 15, and you'll need a long socket so you can get down on it. Get down on it, get down on it. Okay, I'm done. And now for the 2 8mm, which is here and here. And now for the remaining 4 13mm bolts located there. And with a little encouragement from something that's not too hard, like I'm not going to use my metal hammer, just this plastic back on this pry tool will work. Just give it a few taps around the edge, maybe pry a little bit, but you don't want to pry too much because you don't want to mess up the mating surface. And there she blows. Alright, now let's clean all this up. Excuse me, Min Pen. Excuse me, Min Pen. Excuse me, didn't mean to step on you like that. Well, I mean, I didn't step on you, I just kind of stepped over you. I mean, you know, because you were there when I did it, right? Bye. Note to self, next time, take these off. Excuse me, Min Pen. I call her Min Pen because her name is Penelope, and I call her Penny, but she's a small Staffordshire Terrier, so I call her Min Pen. Get it?
Okay.
Hello. Alright, so I was gonna take the talking bird off, but I don't really need to right now at this very moment. I'll do that at some other point. Anyway, let's talk about the engine the car it came out of and how that came about. So this is a 1998 Lincoln Mark 8 that was given to me by a friend because he didn't want to deal with it anymore. It was a very nice car. I think it had one previous owner before him, and it was an older person, so they took care of the car. Once my buddy Randy Handlebars got it, we named it the Sailboat because this thing floats. It's literally like being on a sailboat. It was just floating down the highway. The first issue that he had actually was the air ride system went out, so he put those Suncor shocks on there. Then it started having issues with the control arms, which we replaced. Then we had an issue with the steering shaft. There's a part on the steering column that broke. You could still steer it, didn't lose control or anything. It's just the steering wheel would sag or drop down because the bracket broke. Then this transmission went out, and at that point he was like, I'm sick of dealing with it. He thought about selling it, and then it was just gonna be more trouble to try and sell for whatever he could get for it than just giving it to his friend. That leads me to this, my 2004 Mustang 40th anniversary edition V6 POS. I'm pretty sure y'all know what POS stand for. There's nothing special about this car. The previous owner didn't take very good care of it. She said that her son drove it for his business, so that's why you see where decals used to be. Almost every body panel on this car is damaged. Front, this door, those are replacement parts, and they damaged the replacement parts as well. That quarter panel's damaged. The paint is trash. Let me see if I can get in on that. The clear coat is trash. There's scratches all over it. The brakes are shit. The tires are shit. They look pretty decent, but they're all used and they're all different and they're all getting replaced. Front bumper looks like shit. It's hit something at multiple angles. It hit something there. It hit something there. Of course, you can see it hit something there. That mirror's been flopping around since I bought the damn thing. That's annoying. At least they left me one little decal. So anyway, check out the interior. Yeah, that happens. It's your typical interior of a Mustang that wasn't taken care of like this one wasn't. I don't want to really get in there because it smells weird. Driving this thing home almost made me barf. Common problems with Ford vehicles from this generation of cars, not just Mustangs, but other cars as well. The mechanism that retracts the seatbelt always messes up. It is automatic. I will be changing that over to manual. There's cobwebs in here. The interior is gonna be completely replaced. It's a bunch of rat shit just on the floor. Come on, man. Anyway, so I'm not gonna go into the engine and all of that. It's 3.8 liter V6. It's as shitty as the car looks. Doesn't matter. All of that stuff is getting stripped completely out of there. It's gonna be repainted. Interior is gonna be done. All of that good stuff. And I'm gonna spend a lot of money. And I ain't looking forward to that part. But when I'm done, I want it to be a reliable, decent horsepower car. Like, I don't want it to be a sleeper. I don't want it to be, you know, 800 horsepower and shit like that. I just want a reliable car. So that's where I'm gonna end it at. I appreciate you tuning in. If you like today's video, give it a thumbs up. Leave comments, positive criticism, constructive criticism. Please, I welcome that. Also, remember, drop by Bohindie.com. Show some love for the people that's showing love to your boy. I'm the Jackhammer. This is the Hammerhead Nation. If you're just joining, welcome. Click the subscribe button. If you want to know more or keep getting regular updates, hit the notification button, man. But from me to you, much love, and I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Peace.